Hey, good morning, everyone. Nice to be here with you. So, if you read my email that I sent out yesterday, you can see that I'm off onto a new topic now. I've been thinking a lot about uh, the the act of service called deep listening. And as I explained in my email, I heard my teacher, the founder of developer of the mindfulness-based stress reduction curriculum, John Kabat-Zinn, speak once at a retreat at the Omega Center in New York, and he spoke about deep listening and how it is actually an act of service, and that we can't pretend to listen to anyone about anything if we haven't cultivated the skill, if you will, of listening from here. It's great because I actually have a heart monitor on today. Just a precautionary thing, no big deal, but it's just funny that I did that. But anyway, um, so listening from here, from the heart, is the essence of deep listening, and of course, it's simple, but not necessarily easy. There's a lot more to it than that. But the idea of listening as an act of service and the way that he spoke about it that day really impacted me deeply. And I think about it a lot, maybe not enough, especially when it comes to my husband, who's, often the receiver of much of my unskilled communication techniques or flaws. Um, so, and I actually, I mean, I say that on purpose because I do really feel that all of our mindfulness skills or self-development or anything else that we do to work on ourselves, the ultimate test for how well we're progressing on that path, whatever that flavor of path may be, the ultimate test of that is how well do we do that with the people that are closest to us, with our family members, our spouses, our children, our dogs. um, and if we're faltering with them, then we haven't quite gotten there yet. And so, because I live with him every day, he's the person that I'm the most comfortable with, and I'm not monitoring my words most of the time. I'm not trying to be on my best behavior, and he does get the brunt of that sometimes. I mean, that's just reality. So, in cultivating deep listening, as John Kabat-Zinn mentioned, it's an act of service, and it's a listening from the valley of the heart. And I love that image because valleys are deep, and the valley of the heart um, brings to my mind an image of the depth of our heart, coming down off the high mountain of knowing with our head and coming down into the valley where it's deep and rich and lush. So the valley of the heart. So we'll be doing a little practice around that today. So, and then there will be time afterwards that you and Amy can unmute and converse with each other if there are questions or places to reflect on. And I do hope that you'll do that. So let's go ahead and get ready for practice then. Finding your seat. How do we find our seat? By listening to our body and reflecting on what does my body need right now to feel comfortable enough to settle in for a few minutes, stable enough to feel that I can settle. And yet, in such a position that I can also cultivate a sense of alertness. So, arriving and taking our seat. And then this is also, there's an attitude with taking our seat that I claim my right to be here. You can claim your right to be right where you are in the center of your own life. In this time and in this place, honoring all the things that you set aside today just to be here for yourself. Taking your seat with commitment, with devotion and dedication, with a sense of integrity and dignity. You may close your eyes if you like. You may turn your camera off if you like. But just settling in and allowing your body to feel the pull of gravity so that you can feel that heaviness of being stable and solid and well grounded. At the same time, your spine can elongate just a hair, just a subtle, soft lengthening of the spine as if there's a little cushion of air between each vertebra. And this contributes to that feeling of alertness or wakefulness. Notice that you have a body, that you are embodied, taking note of feet and legs, hips, hands, arms, shoulders, torso, abdomen and back, shoulders, neck, and head. Experience breathing. Experience the breath moving in and out of your body as well as your awareness, one breath at a time. And taking it just as a matter of fact that your mind is going to wander as we go through this practice, and it's no big deal. Each time you catch your wandering mind, just bringing it back to the practice. And that is actually the practice. So, not to make a big deal of it or judge it. That's just how the mind works, human minds. So, as we begin this practice of deep listening, we can first just bring attention to the deep valley of our heart. The other thing I love about that image is that the valley is the place that receives the rain, receives the water's coming down from the mountains. And so The heart in its listening mode is the receiver of the rains. And as the river receives, it fills and it swells and it feeds the valley and nourishes the valley. And when the valley of the heart fills with the rain of the words of our beloveds, it also fills and becomes rich and lush and capable of nourishing. Imagining the heart as an open valley, ready to receive, ready to listen, ready to honor and to witness. And so, something to reflect on might be, what does it mean to be a deep listener? What does deep listening mean? And to explore that further, let's imagine that there is someone here in our mind's eye, or feeling the presence of someone who has shown you or given you, I guess I should say, the service of listening deeply to you. It could have just been a moment where you knew that somebody really listened and really got you. If you can't think of anyone right now, then just imagine that person. Just imagine or remember a person who listens deeply and who really witnesses who you are or who you were. And think of the words that you would use to describe that, either the act of listening deeply or the person. What is a deep listener? What are they like? What constitutes deep listening? And you might think of words such as compassionate, witness, open, non-judgmental, unconditional positive regard. What are words that arise for you as you're thinking of deep listener? So just as if you could just sort of hold those words for yourself, those descriptions of deep listening, deep listener. And then also pay attention to the sensations in your own heart and body as you think of this person. Really hearing you, really honoring you with this service of listening, taking the time. Notice what that feels like in your heart and your body, your emotional state, your thoughts. Just reveling in this sense of being listened to, staying with it a few seconds longer. Remember, so that we can hardwire this experience into our nervous system, our plastic brains. Right. And then letting that image or felt sense of that person, real or imagined, to just fade from your view, just like we do with loving kindness meditation, just like a wisp of cloud against the blue sky, the deep blue sky. And then replacing that image or felt sense with a image or felt sense of someone whom you adore, one that you love very deeply. Could be a child or a partner, a teacher, a parent. Traditionally, we would say someone who, when you think of them, you automatically smile. So, getting that felt sense of that person, this beloved person before you, and imagining now that you can take this opportunity for just a couple of minutes here to deeply listen to this person. And all of those qualities of a deep listener that you just thought of. What would it be like to embody those yourself, to honor, to serve, to witness with unconditional positive regard this beloved person in front of you? What do you think they would like you to hear? Just be open, listening with the depth of the valley of the heart. and practice listening without waiting for your chance to reply, without forming a reply as you're supposed to be listening. Without coming up with advice or feedback or wise words, but simply listening, witnessing this person as they are in this moment, as if this listening to them is quenching a deep, deep thirst and longing on their part. And this may come as words or feelings or images, or you may just feel blank, and that's all right too. There is no right or wrong here. It's just an opportunity to practice opening the heart to listening. And then allowing the image or felt sense of that person, that beloved, to fade from view. It's like a little wisp of a cloud disappearing into the blue, blue sky. All right, and last one for today. Now turning the focus onto yourself. You don't need to create an image or anything, but just tune into yourself and explore deep listening with your body. Are you listening to your body without judgment, without advice, with patience and witnessing and respect? What has your body been trying to tell you? And how would it like to be cared for? And watch as little judgmental thoughts start to come in. Judging thoughts, criticizing thoughts. But go back to the qualities of a deep listener, an ideal deep listener. See if you can soften some of those other voices and just become that deep valley, receiving the rain of communication from your body. What is your heart saying? What does your heart need you to hear? If you were to listen very deeply to your heart, what does it need to say to you? And how can you be a receiver, not a judger, but a receiver of that communication? What does your heart need? What does your mind need? You could listen to the chatterings of your mind to be still enough to deeply listen. Even your mind might have some useful something that it needs for you to hear. It's been longing for you to hear and to witness. What does your mind need? And what about your soul? Opening up all of those inner ears and the ears of the heart, the deep valley of the heart. What is your soul longing to say, longing for you to hear? That if you could just open up and listen, that quenching, that deep, deep thirst of the soul, that would be the life giving water. It's just that deep living, listening. And I'm going to give you a couple of moments to begin to make your way back to ordinary consciousness, conscious of your body, conscious of where you're sitting, aware of your breath, aware of your surroundings. Taking a look around after you've opened your eyes, noticing where you are, what you've put aside in order to be here. You can start to mentally connect with that, but also with our virtual community here. So this is a great time, if you feel comfortable, to go ahead and turn back your camera back on and be with your community. And I'm going to bow out here now and let you have your dialogue, or share your experiences. But I would just invite you this week to spend some time deep listening to nature, to those around you, but specifically to yourself this week. we don't get enough encouragement to do that, I think. All the communication or listening courses maybe you've ever taken or books you may have read, the emphasis is often on others, which is wonderful. There's one is not greater or less than the other, but I think sometimes we don't give enough value or enough attention to what it means to listen deeply to our own bodies, our own hearts and minds and souls. And as always, I welcome your feedback, your commentary between Fridays in your emails. That's always very heartwarming for me. So I I look forward to seeing you next week. So hope this was helpful for you. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.